there, beautiful soul, and welcome to my YouTube channel. On this episode, I want to talk to you about how to find a coach or mentor, especially if you're just starting out. Now, I have achieved so much amazing stuff in my life, and I'm so grateful for all the opportunities that I've had, but full disclaimer, I did not get here alone. In fact, you're probably wondering, did I work with a coach? Did I have mentors? How did I find them? And other questions related to the subject. And the answer is, of course, I did not get here alone, and I stand on the shoulders of amazing women and leaders who were bold enough and generous enough to share their wisdom, to support me, and to share with the world, whether it was through coaching programs or other platforms like podcasts, books, blogs, and social media. Now, if you are an artist or creative looking to take your business to the next level, you will probably at some point want a mentor or a coach. Now, coaching is definitely something that we as humans go back in history, all the way back. Each tribe had some kind of elder who was the wise one who gave advice and mentored younger people in the community. Now, today, there are so many coaches out there, and in fact, I hear so much like, oh, it seems like everyone's a coach now. How do I know who to work with? Or what if I want to become a coach? Is there too many people? Well, of course, the answer is there's always more than enough room to go around. And especially when we're talking about one-on-one support or mentorship, there's simply not enough people to provide coaching for every single human being, right? Even though it feels like there's a ton of coaches, the reality is if you're looking for that intimate support, it's just not out there. And so what you want to look for in a coach, I want to share some strategies to help you find the right fit for you. So you can work with someone who clearly states that they do offer mentorship or coaching, or you can simply model their behavior, follow their journey, read and listen to their content, or watch their videos. Now, if they are offering a program such as a one-on-one coaching program or a mastermind, you can look into it, see what the budget is so you can start saving or figuring out how to invest in it. Now, there are also things like memberships, which are more affordable ways of working with someone. Now, I get asked a lot, how did I find my coaches? How did I know who to work with? Where did I find them? Is there a directory or a Google search? And the answer to that is it was very organic. I'll give you an example. So my coach, Kara Allwill, she is an author and she's also a podcaster, and I found her book on Audible when I was training for a half marathon. From that book, I discovered her Instagram. From her Instagram years later, she launched a podcast. And from the podcast, I heard about her coaching program, and eventually I hired her one-on-one. So the journey was very organic. I built trust with her. I knew everything about her before I hired her for that premium, several $1,000 package, which was 100% worth it. My coach, Michelle, and I met on Instagram. A mutual friend recommended that we touch base with each other, and at the time, she was offering a coaching program for artists who want to become coaches, and guess what? I was ready for that, so we ended up working together for 6 amazing months. Now, before I ever hired her, I definitely chatted with her. We met, we had a discovery call, but we also exchanged on Instagram DMs and emails, and also text messages. So you want to make sure that when you're working with someone or you're ready to hire and invest in a mentor, there's 3 things that I recommend that you do. 1, you know, like, and trust them. You follow their content, you see what they're all about, you make sure your values are aligned and they stand for the same things you do, and you just want to make sure that you like them and you want to be in their presence, because when you're working with someone one-on-one, you're going to be spending a lot of time with them, so you better like their humor and you better like their personality, and you better feel super safe and comfortable in their presence. Number 2 is you want to make sure they have got results or achieved something that you're working towards. So when you're working with a coach, it's best to have a very specific idea of what you want to achieve while working with them, right? So for example, if you want to write a book, I would definitely work with a published author or someone who has experience in a field. It's really easy these days. We see all these coaches and, maybe they're telling the truth and maybe they're not, but you definitely want to see receipts. You want them to show you what they've done, and you want to make sure that you want the results that they've gotten for themselves, that they have proof, right? And the way to do that is by checking out their website, their social media, and seeing, are there reviews, are there client testimonials, did they get some press, or maybe just even some blog posts of other people featuring their work, their books, their coaching programs, and so on and so forth. The other thing you want to do is you want to make sure that you're ready, and never ever work with someone who's pressuring you or making you feel anxious about signing up with them. I believe that working with a mentor or someone privately one-on-one is a very intimate decision, and you want to feel 100% confident. It has to be a hell yes. That's why when I'm selling my programs, I never push it to my clients. I give them all the information. I give them the dates and the options. And then when they're ready to work with me, they know and they come to me, because I have to spend 3 months with them, and if they feel cranky about working with me, it's not going to be a good experience. So if someone's being salesy or pushy with you, it's okay if they follow up and just remind you, but if they're really making you feel uncomfortable, that's a red flag, and you want to find someone who respects your time and respects your boundaries. Got it? Awesome. The next thing I want to talk about is really just making sure that you start slow. You don't need to hire a coach right away. There are so many things you can do before you get that additional support. Once you maxed out on all the free content on someone's website or a YouTube channel or podcast, and you applied all the learnings and took all the action steps, and then you still need support or you're ready for that next level, then it's time to start shopping for a coach, interviewing people, and making sure that they're a good fit. And sometimes you might not even think you're in the market for someone, and they're gonna come into your life and they're gonna just show up with an amazing program, and you're gonna say, oh my gosh, that is for me. For example, one of amazing programs that changed my life was Amy Porterfield's Digital Course Academy. Amy taught me everything there is to know about creating an online course, whether it's a small one or a big signature course that lasts several weeks. And I'm so happy that I ran into her program, even though I didn't think I needed it. So sometimes the opportunity will come to you, and sometimes you will be seeking it out. Now, you can also ask your community, your friends, to see, have they worked with someone? During COVID, I was recommended an amazing spiritual coach, shout out to Jerry Ann, through a friend of mine. So it can also happen organically. But I would say you definitely want to get to know the person. You want to make sure there's some social proof and proof of what they've achieved in their life and or business, depending on the area you're getting coached on. And you want to make sure that they're being, they're acting in integrity and they're practicing what they preach. And you want to make sure you really love their vibe, whether it's on social media, their books or podcasts or whatever. And the other thing I want to point out is that it doesn't matter how many followers someone has. They can be an amazing coach and have a smaller audience that's hyper specific to their niche. So don't ever judge someone just because they don't have 1 million followers. That's not really an indicator of a successful coach either. I hope you enjoyed this, and if you're interested in working with me as a one-on-one coach, I take about 6 clients a year. So you better get on that wait list, check out the link below, and in the meantime, enjoy all the free content I put out for you here on my podcast, in our books, also linked in the bio, and on my Instagram stories. I love you so much. Thanks for being in this space with me, and I wish you all the success.